Yes, Tom, unfortunately, I don't have any good news with this latest advisory. The National Hurricane Center, the headline, and I'm reading straight off of the National Hurricane Center's advisory. Laura, now forecast to become a major hurricane over the northwestern Gulf of Mexico on Wednesday. Additional hurricane watch areas have been issued for portions of Texas. So the areas yesterday that were under a tropical storm watch, those areas are south of Port Boulevard to San Luis Pass. That has been changed to a hurricane watch now, and a tropical storm watch has just been added from San Luis Pass to Freeport. So here's the bottom line, guys. We cannot let our guard down. I know it seems like the last several days we've been talking about the uncertainty of this system, and although we have to continue to fine-tune that forecast cone, because look at where the system is. It's got a long way to go before it makes that direct landfall here along the upper Texas coastline or Louisiana. But I think our messaging needs to have a little bit more urgency. And for those of you that have just been kind of, it's going to go east, we don't have to worry about it, you really need to take this seriously. We have areas now across southeast Texas under those hurricane watches and tropical storm watches, meaning that we need to get serious and hunker down or get our preparedness kits ready. This is the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. It has just updated within a few minutes ago a Category 3 hurricane. That is a major hurricane as it approaches landfall here along the upper Texas coastline and southwest coast of Louisiana. What does that mean? Major hurricane. Major hurricane means that those wind speeds are above 110 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center, after throwing all their forecast tools into the mix, they're now upping the probability here for this to become a major hurricane. This is the first advisory that they have issued that now says those winds are going to be about 115 miles per hour upon making landfall here along the Texas coastline. That's why the National Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service, has issued these hurricane watches. Now, they will turn into warnings later on today when we're 36 hours out. When the hurricane watches and tropical storm watches are issued, that means you have 48 hours to prepare. But let's be honest, you're probably going to get all of those preparedness kits done earlier. So let's just talk about some of the other details that our computer models are showing. Obviously, storm surge is going to be a huge deal, especially along our immediate coastline. Kevin Roth, meteorologist Kevin Roth, is going to go through a lot of this throughout the morning with me. He's joining me this morning because there is a lot of information to cover this morning. And so I'll be hitting on some of those items. Meanwhile, he'll be taking care of some of those watches and warnings. But you can see the counties that are under that hurricane watch right along our coastal communities, the southern fringes of Liberty County, Harris County under a tropical storm watch. Tropical storm conditions are expected over the next 48 hours. And as I mentioned, that'll be upgraded to tropical storm warnings when we get into that 36-hour time frame. 48 hours right now. That storm surge watch also in effect. Now, something that you will notice compared to yesterday and now this morning, if we have increased those tropical storm winds. The probability that you're going to encounter those winds from Houston eastward is in that 50–80% range, and that is if the system continues to take that left side, if it makes landfall somewhere along the Sabine Pass. Now, if that system starts to shift a little bit toward the west, we're going to see these probabilities increase as well as the probabilities of tropical storm force winds. We may be dealing with hurricane force winds. Right now, those are between 10 to 20, or just up that. Got to change this graphic, between 20 to 30% chance now that we will be dealing with hurricane force winds east of I-45 and also some heavy rain east of the I-45 corridor. So coming up, we'll take a look at Future Track. I do want to show you a few of our reliable models where it's placing the eye of the storm. But I think your takeaway here, guys, is you cannot let your guard down. The National Hurricane Center is putting us on guard. Their headlines this morning should be an indication that we need to take this system seriously. It's got 2 days over some very warm waters, and if history tells us anything, Katrina, Rita, this is a storm system that is very well capable of rapid intensification. So even though the National Hurricane Center might be forecasting a Category 3, this system could become even stronger, guys. All right? Back to you.
All right.